Look at this 4-lane road. What do you think the speed limit is here? Well, let me tell you, it's 40 kilometers an hour. But nobody goes 40. And you know why? Well, usually in Mexico they have speed bumps. For some weird reason, this road here does not have them. Hey guys, welcome to my video. Well, I came back down to the Malecón. Barbara and I were here yesterday and we were able to walk all around this, what do you even call that? Where this cliff is there. You could see the beach on the other side. Now the water is coming further up because the tide is high, and later in the afternoon it's low again. So I don't know what the timing is with the tide. Maybe somebody can update me on that. I know that it is dependent on the moon, so it's not necessarily the same time each day. It keeps changing as far as I know. Anyways, I come down here because I wanted to make a video and I wanted to also fly my drone. So I could probably fly it around there and maybe go like toward that island to get a rough idea how far that actually is. As you may notice, that plan fell through. For some reason I was logged out of my DJI account, so I could only go 50 meters away from myself with that drone. Since there was no internet connection here, there was no way for me to sign in. So I just picked something that was close by, which happened to be the Mazatlan letters on the Malecón. It was interesting because you can see people going back and forth, taking pictures, and even the Marines got in on it. See that? Well guys, I got some nice shots of this building and of the letters that are above me. Now of course for this video, or I don't know how I'm gonna do this, I can't use it for stock footage hardly like that because the letters are mirror image because I'm from behind, but I think it still looks good. It's still a nice place that, you know, people just kind of like. Lots of people taking pictures here with those letters. Of course, the background in that case is the ocean, but in my case it's going to be just a little bit different. Here's my bike. I'll go back up there and keep that camera. Oh no, I wanted to, but I really can't. So guys, I already know that this area is going to be one of my favorite ones here in Mazatlan, simply because even though the sign says you're not supposed to go swimming here, but I went just a little bit away from the sign yesterday and I didn't see any problem. I really enjoyed it. There's nice waves here, the water is just perfect, the beach is nice and smooth. However, I think what they're talking about is where these rocks are, because that's really the place where you have to worry about, you know, perhaps a wave catching you and you get smashed by a rock. Now this white building on the hill there, on the cliff that I'm looking at, I have to do some research about what that actually was. It looks like it's been abandoned. It's probably not in very good shape. It looks like there's a lot of rebar sticking out here and there, and since it's a concrete structure, that probably renders it useless for tourism. Even on my drone video, I think it still looks quite nice. It looks impressive. You know, I like coming down here in the morning, probably more than even in the afternoon, because it's not quite as busy. Mind you, it hasn't been busy here the other day. It's not really hot, but it's comfortable. The wind isn't too bad. There's even breaks in the traffic, and you notice there's, like, right now you don't hear a vehicle, there's a motorcycle, but it's not too bad. Still, I don't understand why they have to put a road right next to the beach. That, in my view, I said it before, I say it again, it's a big mistake. Yeah, what else do I want to tell you? Not a whole lot. I mean, we're just getting settled in here, Barbara and I. It's taken us a few days, like usual. We finally have groceries in the fridge, and we know a little bit around our neighborhood. Like, we know where there's a market. It's a good place to buy groceries. They tend to be a little bit cheaper, and also it seems like it's all fresh stuff. The big store is good when you just want convenience. You know, you want to get all the choices there are. You know which aisle, you pick your stuff. But I noticed that price-wise, probably you're a little bit better off at the market. Now, tomorrow will mark 1 week that we've come here, and I had this idea that perhaps I should take track of our expenses here that we pay cash for 1 week. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments, and I will try to do that, because we kind of just go for it. You know, we kind of just, we get what we need, then we go, oh, this is kind of expensive, let's not get that. Let's not do that, because we could do that tomorrow, you know. Then as far as groceries go, we buy what we need. The fridge is small anyways. That is kind of the way we manage to budget, but it may actually make sense to write down the expenses that we have here on a daily basis for an entire week, and then kind of compare it, like the cash that we brought. We'll know then if it's enough, or toward the end of the trip we have to visit an ATM. Now, the last time we stayed in Puerto Vallarta, we did have to visit an ATM toward the end of our trip, simply because we paid our accommodation in cash. That meant more savings for us. And it might have been this way also on this trip, but we just thought we'd try the Airbnb for the first time, for the entire time, because there's savings that way. You get a discount when you stay anywhere for more than a month. So that's what we did. Today marks like the last day of the first week in Mazatlan. I can tell you, the first week is always, I don't want to call it stressful, because we have stress in Edmonton when, you know, it gets dark early. We have to deal with snow. We have to deal with clearing the driveway. We have to deal with all kinds of stuff. It gets dark early. We still have to do our daily thing. The expenses are worse than here. Groceries are ridiculously cheap here. Like the other day at the market, this was yesterday, we bought 15 eggs for 50 pesos. And this wasn't the cheapest there was. I saw even cheaper after that. I don't know if we get dinged because we stick out. People know we're not from here. But I haven't found it too bad here. It's worse when you go to the areas like Cancun, to some extent Puerto Vallarta, because there are just more international tourists there. Here, there are some, not that many, and I think we're getting treated pretty fairly, but we still have to learn our way around, you know, where is the best place. The breakfast we had yesterday, it came up to 180 pesos for 2 plates, styrofoam plates, of nacho chips with meat, plus 2 coffees that were basically just hot water, and here's your jar of Nescafe. Noisy bus. And that came up to 180 pesos, and I thought to myself, well, we could have done better than that. The same place also had different dishes, but Barbara already said, well, we're not going to go back here. You know, there's always good places and bad ones, and you can't always judge it by the way they look. Sometimes you can judge it by the way how packed they are. But the best value of all, even though I'm not a master chef or anything, it's when we buy fresh groceries here in the stores and at the market. Because for some reason, and I don't know, like I'm no expert in food processing and food science and that, but you can tell that the food here is better quality, has more nutritious value than the stuff we buy at home at the grocery store. Now, how I can tell that, it's anecdotal, you know. Like I said, I'm not a scientist. But for one thing, the avocados we bought, they were just simply beautiful. They're not brown inside, they're just yellow. They're just so perfect texture, you know, and you can actually leave them for a few days and they don't turn brown right away. Same thing applies for the bananas. The tomatoes are so full of flavor, and I mean, generally the food here, just generally speaking, tastes a whole lot better than back home. Understandably, Canada, we have to import food because in the winter time nothing grows. So I think people here, while there's more poverty probably than we have in Canada, but I think in one regard they get spoiled here. For one thing, the climate is more agreeable, at least this season. Might be a whole different story in the summer season when we have a nice summer but dry climate in Edmonton. But here it might just be ridiculously hot and humid. But this time of year, guys, I mean, it's just beautiful down here, and whatever it costs us, it's a big sacrifice. You know, you can do a lot of things with $5,000, so it's a big sacrifice, and we've done this year after year after year, and we intend to continue doing this. And it doesn't probably always have to be Mexico, because the reason we ended up in Mexico the last few years is basically just for budget reasons, because flights further south tend to be a bit more expensive. And in recent years, ever since the pandemic, we haven't found the deals that we used to find before. So then our budget brings us to Mexico, which is fine. It's a beautiful country, but I'm not done exploring the rest of like Latin America, especially Central America, South America. We've been to Colombia twice. That was totally worth it. I know Panama is nice. I've been there before. So we'd like to explore more than that. Anyways, that's just my little 2 cents for today. I'll see you in another video very soon. And if you find any value in this video, or you enjoyed it, you simply enjoyed my beautiful drone photography, videography, then give this video a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. And if you're a subscriber, hey, thank you for the encouragement. Have a good day.